Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast with author, coach, and speaker MaShani Allen. Known as the Golden Scribe, MaShani has over 2 decades of writing experience, and her passion for the craft has given her the opportunity to impart wisdom, affirmation, hope, and confidence into many. Let's listen now as MaShani delves into topics that have impacted her on her Tear Talk journey and helped her discover the power of the pen.
Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast. So glad to have you all today. Yesterday I was thinking about doing a podcast, and the word that came to mind when considering a topic was the word reunion. And around this time of year, people have family reunions, and it's family members, friends coming together, family members and friends that are like family coming together, just sharing stories, sharing memories, creating new memories. But reunions are good. Reunions are powerful, and reunions are necessary. And the word reunion, it's an act of reuniting or the state of being reunited. Another definition of the word is an instance of 2 or more people coming together again after a period of separation. And yesterday I had the privilege of being with 2 friends who have known each other since high school, and they were able to connect and reunite. And it was such a beautiful moment and such a beautiful experience, because in their coming together, it really helped to provide truth, information, insight, and healing from what they had experienced, not as children, but as adults, to be able to help each other where they are now. And there was so many beautiful moments that took place in this reunion. And I knew we were going to gather, and I'd actually sent myself a text to say, do the podcast on reunion. And I am still processing some of the wisdom and some of the nuggets and some of the testimony that was shared, and how impactful it was and is, and the power that took place when transparency and honesty were on the table, and humility in operation. It was just such a powerful and such a beautiful reunion, because it didn't so much focus on, the stories of when they were younger and what happened. This reunion dealt with life, and it dealt with what life had been throwing at them, and how they were able to overcome, how they were able to heal, how they were able to process life. And that relationship that was established so many years ago, at this time and at this stage, offered something fresh, something new, because of life. And that morning when I was thinking about the reunion that was to take place, not knowing what would come as a result of it, but I did know it was a good thing. Actually, I knew it would be a great thing, but I didn't know how great it would be. But that morning when I was thinking about it, and I'm just thinking about the word reunion, I started thinking about how reunions can reawaken passion, how they can reactivate dreams, how they can renew hope. Like, being reunited with people can just open unbelievable doors and opportunities, not so much as connections, but in the heart. And I started thinking about how writing and journaling can be a reunion. And it's interesting how you can write something in a moment, and then see it years later and how it can speak to you. It can be an answered prayer. It can awaken something in you. It can renew a hope. It, it can reactivate a dream because you wrote it down. And in writing it down, it gives you an opportunity to possibly reunite with it and have a reunion with it and reconnect with it years later, but it be just as powerful, just as meaningful, and just as poignant, and sometimes even more poignant from when you wrote it, because life has been experienced. And the reunion of those words at a different time in a different season can offer you something that you weren't even expecting. And I have been journaling. I had to update my journal because I had gotten behind, and I don't like when I get behind, but I can't get behind for long because it can take me days to update it. And there's a lot that's been happening in my life. And I am the type of person, I write everything down. When people speak life into me, I write it down with their name and the date. I just write everything I have. I have my journal, that my daily journal, which is, again, is 5 subject notebooks because I write everything. And then I have journals that are split up by category. Like I have a dream journal, I have a prophecy journal, I have a download journal, I have a revelation journal. I'm working on 2 books at the same time, but one won't be published until next year. But I have those as journals. So as I get information, as I get insight, as I get downloads, I'm able to record everything. And I've actually made those electronic. So they're all on my phone. But some of my journals are both electronic and hard copy. And when I was updating my journal the other day, I was reminded of something that someone had spoke over me years ago. And I had to go look it up, and I had it written down, so I was able to see the date. And then I remember who spoke it, but I didn't know the date in which it was spoken. And going back and reading the full context of what she had shared concerning me, and to now see that I'm living in what was spoken, it was like a reunion of a promise spoken to me, and to see that I am now living it. And it was just so powerful, first of all, to remember, but secondly, to see the full context of the words that were spoken. And that memory brought a reunion to me of words. And I so love that moment because we have had, I believe that many of us have had people speak life to us, but sometimes we need a reunion of the life that was spoken. You know, the words of affirmation, the prophetic words, the scriptures that people released over you, the words of life that people just spoke. I think especially in the times that we are living in right now, sometimes we can always be looking for something new, but sometimes we need a reunion with what was already said and what was already spoken. One of the greatest reunions that we can have is with the Word of God and what He has said and what He has spoken concerning us. I think that there is just a time when we need to make an adjustment to what we're paying attention to, what we're focusing on, and we will be surprised how we already have what we need written down. It's just a matter of sometimes being reminded to go and look at it again. And I think reunions, they just breathe something into us. They just activate something into us. They bring a level of joy. They bring a level of just love. they can bring so much. And just like, me being a part of the experience with my friend, it can be the same experience with our words. I I write so much I forget how much I write. And the beauty of having a lot of my writings now electronic is, you can do the find feature. So you can look for particular words, you can look for particular phrases, and it'll show you how many occurrences there are of that particular word or that particular phrase. And it just, I don't know if I should use the word amaze. I think I can, but it also astounds me. It blesses me significantly to look and see years of things written, years of things spoken. And I'm talking about 10, sometimes almost 15, 17 years of dreams written, and looking back and being reunited, and that joy waking up again, that passion flickering again, that hope arising again. Why? Because of a reunion of words that were spoken or words that were written. And it's interesting because we become so advanced with electronics and with, computers and artificial intelligence, but we can't forget the power of the human connection in the midst of a technological revolution. There's still something so powerful about human connection and what that does, being in person with people, what that feeds, what that births, and what that causes to be awakened. It can just foster so many beautiful things, so many powerful things. And in that, it can produce so many beautiful moments as well as memories. And even though I didn't have the long-standing friendship, I was still able to be privy and able to be a part of something so beautiful, and me myself witness something so powerful and something so healing because of this reunion. And, sometimes we have to make an effort. We have to be willing to reach out. We have to be willing to send a text. We have to be willing to make that call, because we don't know what that reunion, when you're feeling like, hey, I need to connect with this person, or hey, this person came across my mind. We don't know what that reunion can do. And I have had, I'll remember a dream, or I'll remember I wrote something, and I literally will go through my journals until I find it, because I don't, and some people are like, just let it go. I'm like, no, there's a reason why I'm remembering this. There's a reason why I need to know the full context of what was said. And I'm thankful for my journals. The only issue is my 5-subject notebooks aren't electronic. So that can be a little more taxing trying to find particulars with that, especially I remembered a time frame, but I had to go and find the journals. And the good thing is, on the front of my journal, I'll put what that journal is for. So sometimes it'll be January 1st to April 26th. So I have to go through all the years to find that information. But it's just almost being reconnected with people. It's worth the effort. It's worth the search. It's worth the time, because I've been able to go back and look at some things that I wrote years ago, and to read them again now. It's just oh my goodness. It just continues to speak to me how powerful the pen is, especially when it reunites, and that what that reunion affords us, or me, or you, or even complete strangers, and even friends and foes. That pen is a powerful, powerful tool. Words are just such powerful tools that we can take lightly, that we can be dismissive of, that we can just disregard, when they can bring to us one of the most beautiful reunions of our thoughts, one of the most beautiful reunions of our dreams, one of the most beautiful reunions of our passions. And I also think it can bring a beautiful reunion of our purpose. And when I've had moments of feeling lost and unsure and not knowing which way to go, or what road to take, or which door to walk through, my words have brought a beautiful reunion, which has given me the courage, which has given me the hope, which has given me the fortitude to know which direction and which path to take. When I tell you that reunion that I experienced yesterday brought so much healing and brought so much hope, words can do the exact same thing. Now, some of you have been listening to me for quite some time, and for others, this may be your first time ever listening to the Tear Talk podcast. But I encourage you today to go and find your oldest journal, your oldest notebook, your oldest diary. And between now and the next podcast, I encourage you to read as much as you can and see what it awakens, see what it ignites, see what it reminds you of, just as an experiment. Because I know I'm not the only one that's blessed by my journals. Now, I do understand that there are different types of journals. So I would encourage you to not, well, I can't even say that. Because I was going to say I would encourage you to not find the one that deals with so much pain. But in actuality, that could still be a beautiful reunion as well, because it could show you how much you've been healed, how whole you really are, how you thought you would never overcome, and you have. It could allow you to see your strength. Oh my goodness. And I think that sometimes we want to avoid the hard things because we can feel as though that reunion can take us all the way back there, when in actuality that reunion can be a testament of where we have come from. Oh my goodness, and sometimes that is a reunion that we need to see where we have come from and to know where we are. Because listen, there are some things you couldn't have told me I would have ever healed from. And I would have believed you. I would have co-signed that healing wasn't happening. And when I tell you it has happened by the grace and the love of God, and to look back at where I was and to look where I am, oh, that is a beautiful reunion, because it is a testimony to me of His goodness. And I hope that as you look back at the oldest communication that you have, that you will see it as a testimony of goodness as well. And I pray that the next time that you see that a Tear Talk podcast is loaded, that you decide to press play.
Thank you for joining the Tear Talk podcast. You can purchase today's featured t-shirt and learn more about MaShani by visiting MaShaniAllen.com. Also, check out her exclusive line of custom journals at bit.ly/The Golden Scribe.